But as always, we start with our top takeaways, and first up today will be J.W. Madden.
The first half looked a little lethargic, I think maybe is the best word I would put, from the Arizona side of things. And obviously, a lot of blood on the court. There were Band-Aids involved, ASU. I mean, when you're at a point of the season when you're 21-0 and the unanimous number one team in the country, you're making and breaking your opponent's season sometimes with those games. I mean, if ASU wins this game, it just completely changes their entire season. So you're going to get that effort with Arizona across the front of your jersey every night, even more so in these days, and a team that's trying to rebound from a rough stretch like the Sun Devils are. That second half, I think, was much closer to what we expect. The first half, the thing that jumped out at me, guys, was the rebounding totals. And ASU, which is the worst rebounding team statistically in the Big 12, was hanging with Arizona on the boards. And that tells me everything I need to know. Just a workmanlike performance there in the second half. Obviously, you can point to the Koa Pete return to Phoenix. He had another big game against the Sun Devils, just like he did down in Tucson. I think to a man, though, all of the guys really got locked in there in the second half, ran much cleaner offense, and had much cleaner looks, therefore, at the rim. So, interesting first half. I'd have to review the tape. I think you have to give the Arizona State Sun Devils some credit for their defensive intensity, flying around a little bit, blocking some shots. I also think Arizona made some uncharacteristic turnovers. They didn't finish around the rim in the first 5 minutes. Like, they had some bunnies that they just left short. But in that second half, they just proved once again that they are the superior team by far, and went out, looked to be a maybe 20-point lead. ASU had a little bit of fight, 4-point play down the stretch there. But, I think it's a good win going into a week off of rest. What can you say about 22-0? I mean, just an outrageous start to the season. Bear down, Cats.
There you go. My top takeaway, guys, was the fact that, again, I think this is a team that just they continue to find a way. They continue to be able to overcome obstacles. Not the best game for Jaden Bradley coming off his performance at BYU. He struggled to kind of find his offensive rhythm in this game. But when you're in a lot of teams, that might take a team completely out when one of your best players has an off night. But this team just has so many weapons that they are continually able to overcome those instances, whether it be the consistency of Braden Burries, Koa Pete stepping up, playing for the first time in Phoenix, or second time really, having played up there against San Diego State, but playing the Sun Devils for the first time. A huge second half, obviously, for him after the game. And he said on the national interview that he kind of looked up at his family and felt like he wasn't playing up to the standard, up to the Pete standard, let alone the U of A standard. He wasn't maybe playing up to the Pete standard, so he had to step it up just a little bit, and that's what he did in that second half. And just what J-Dub mentioned, I mean, the rebounding disparity, ASU was able to stay in the game because they were even with the Wildcats on the boards in that first half. But second half, you get the big putback from Mo Krivas, and that kind of started things off. Pete hits a three, and now you've got a little bit of a breathing room, and just the rebounds just started to pile up after that for this team. And again, on a night when Jaden finishes with 10, I mean, again, 3 for 5, but just a little bit off. What he had, 4 turnovers. That's probably, 4 turnovers for Jaden Bradley is like, 10 for a lot of guys. At times they were a little sloppy with the basketball. I thought some passes maybe we didn't need to see, but that didn't ultimately hurt them. And you get out of there with a 22nd straight win. So just the continuation of finding a way when a guy has a night off is what this team does. Kelvin.
Yeah, man, you guys said it all, man. But I definitely want to say this team has not gave up on Bobby Hurley. I mean, the way that they play. No, man, they came out and fight just like how Bobby Hurley is. I mean, at the end of the day, you're talking about the number one team in the country. I expected no less of Arizona to beat them. I expected them to play a little bit better in the beginning. I wanted them to get out to a lead, but I give ASU all the credit. They were there to battle. Yeah. They were there to fight and to try to protect their home court. Did a great job of that in the first half, 38-38, tie game. But I felt like Arizona still held their composure. They came out just workmanlike, just getting it back. Koa Pete, man, I was like, I'm talking about, that was one of the times where I could really see his NBA potential. I mean, of course, everybody know he's been one of the best college players and everything, but, when I see that heart and that determination, to me, that's more important than any skill that you got. just knowing that you got that type of fight. And I was expecting him to have a big day, being that it was in Phoenix, parents in the crowd. They showed his dad and mom, his family up there. So you just wasn't surprised, man, to see him kick in, man, and really go at it. Also, Barry's got to even give him some more praise again, man, with, that pass he did, the one hand Tony Gonzalez. I think he looked like Tony Gonzalez catching that ball and going up and finish. You can see some of them old plays from Cal with Core Pete right there, man. But yeah, man, he's a basketball player through and through, man. I just thought it was a good, tough win. What you need going into a week off before you come into a trap game or a game where you got Oklahoma State in between this run of teams that we finna have to go against.